You're listening to the Spiritual Highways Podcast with Leigh Ann and Michelle.
Well, hey, Rebel friend.
Hey, ma'am. Are you ready?
I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't know what you're going to be. I'm scared.
You probably should be. You probably should be. Well, I mean, you are somewhat familiar with...
Well, okay. Yes. Your first act of rebellion in the
My
past
first
couple
one?
of weeks.
Oh, okay.
No. Just in the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
To set the tone. When we were at orientation, and we talked about that last week, we were trying to get a selfie, and we could not get a selfie. So we ended up
Because I'm extra. I get it. I know.
None of them were good enough. And I'm at the age where I'm like, I don't care what it looks like. Like, I'm just done. Like, let's move on. But...
Yeah.
You're like, let's just take a picture of our feet. Feet safe.
Yeah. As I'm whispering this to her.
Our toenails are painted. We'll be fine. So
it's like buying shoes instead of a whole
outfit. We take a
picture.
We spent this time. We take a picture. And in the meantime, now the principal is speaking. And Leigh Ann is now on Instagram posting it and hashtagging it and coming up with a caption as he is speaking about social media and our children. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's because, like, I'm not always invested
in what's happening in the moment. Yeah.
And two, whenever I feel when I'm in the mood.
Like, you got to see it through.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not going back. Can I tell you how many pictures?
Well, I know you. Like, I know if you don't handle it then, it's not getting handled.
No, yeah.
I know that.
Unless it's something that I have
I fully know that.
Huh,
and
that's like the rebel in me. What's up? That is case in point right here. So, yeah, I mean...
Okay, but wait. What's this law you've been breaking?
I've been jaywalking. Okay, I'll speed.
I'm sorry. That's hilarious. But
hey, but they're giving tickets now here for that.
What?
Yeah.
Downtown?
Evidently, people have been getting hit by cars. What? How about that?
Well, yeah, if you dart out between vehicles, not on a crosswalk, you might get hit by a car.
Well, it never fails. To go to yoga, I always have to park on the other side of the street.
So, are you playing beat the car? Like,
oh, my gosh.
You just don't want to use the crosswalk.
Well, no, because where I park, the yoga studio is like in the dead center. So it's like I've got to walk completely out of the way. Like almost a half a block to go up.
Almost a whole half a block? That's terrible.
It's the
principle. Devastating.
No, it's not the exercise. I don't mind that. It's the point. It's like the studio's right there. There's no reason for me to go especially.
So I need to start bail money for your jaywalking addiction. Okay.
Well, I'm just telling you. And then they've been hiding around the corner because then I got pulled over and I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why he's pulling me over. I think I might have been on the phone with you. And it was hands-free, so before you fuss, because I think it was you. I don't know who I was talking to. I said, hold on, I got to call you back. I'm getting pulled over. Well, it was because of my seatbelt. And you know what? I'm like, now, one of my biggest things is I kind of, if you want to set me off, just accuse me of something that I know I didn't do. And then, so I'm like getting all hot. I'm like,
because that's exactly how to handle the situation.
Well, but I knew at this moment. I hadn't even gone a whole block. How can I break the law? I got my seatbelt on. So, but I have a port, for my iron. So I don't wear my seatbelt like I'm technically supposed to, but I do wear it like under my arm. Well, he pulls me over and he's like, you're not wearing your seatbelt. I'm like, oh, yes, I am. I pull it, where you can see. And I quickly pull out Bob, which is what the kids name my port. I'm like, look, dude, I'm sorry. And he's like, well, they've been getting, a little bit.
We're going to get you a pad for there.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Okay, Rebel.
I am not wearing, not happening.
It's a little thing, it slides over.
It's going to get it's material and it'll get all yucky and, no, not going to do it. I'll just keep it where it's at. It's all good. Now I just raise the little lever to where they can see it more. Or whenever I see a police officer, I always hey, show my thing. I got it right here.
They're going to be following you all over town now.
But they do. They stand around that little corner and they watch. So me jaywalking is like, I feel like I'm playing chicken, you know?
You are. You're like Frogger.
Yeah. It's like, hey, come get me now. Come get me. But sometimes I do want. Okay, so the other day, I chose to not jaywalk, and I'm going to tell you why. This is kind of the other reason why I'm rebelling. So, I was going to yoga, and I've been noticing for the past several weeks, there's a guy who's middle-aged, attractive man. I thought the first time I saw him sitting outside on the bench, I figured he was one of his, maybe his wife was inside shopping and he was just waiting for her, because that's kind of the vibe that I got.
Right.
But then I kept seeing him over and over, and he's just like staring, into nothing, like just sitting.
People watching, maybe?
Yeah, like totally people watching. Well, so I park and I walk my half a block to go down the crosswalk.
No, you didn't lie, or you were jaywalking.
No, I didn't this time, because and right next to, closer to the crosswalk was where this gentleman was sitting. And I had noticed the last time I passed him and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He didn't respond. And this time, same scenario. "Hey, how you doing?" And there was no response. So I cross the crosswalk. I walk half a block again to the yoga studio, and I walk in, and we're about to start class. And I'm like, "Hey, have y'all seen this guy, this cat sitting outside doing nothing?" And they said, "Yeah. Well, I've been seeing him." Well, I'm like, I need to ask him. I need to know what's up with this. I need to know what's going on with this scenario, because I need to know what he's doing.
Why?
Well, for one, if you're going to, it's just random time. Sometimes it's closed.
So, like, you were doing community service for everyone. Like, you needed to know.
If you're going to do weird stuff, expect somebody weird to come and approach you.
Like, Detective Leigh Ann is getting to the bottom of this.
Well, that's where my inner voice was showing me a list of people that love me that were thinking, this is not
This
something.
is a bad idea.
Yeah, this is bad. Even Tenny in yoga, she said she couldn't look out the window, but because I was going to go approach him. And so I'm like, yeah, enough of the wonder got me. Like I needed an answer.
You couldn't move on.
No. So I did what any proud citizen would do, and I approached him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure not any proud citizen would. But you're extra, so we'll give it to you.
Well, but I probably wouldn't have had he just said, "Hey, how you doing?" All good. I feel like...
Oh, because he didn't acknowledge you?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay, little Leigh Ann. Didn't get acknowledged. All right. Let's see where you're going with this one, because I've already got a list of observations up until this point.
I'm sure you do.
But I'm going to hold them. I'm going to let you finish your crazy story. Oh, my gosh.
So of course I'm going to approach this man, and I did so with... I was aware of my energy that I was bringing. It was I'm not attacking you. I'm just figuring you out. So, safe zone. So, I don't even have keys in my hand, so I can't abort the mission. Okay. Like, I'm in it. And I figured, you know what? All the girls are there staring out the window at the yoga studio anyway.
All but one.
All but one. Tinny's in the back crying, thinking this is a terrible idea. And so I'm like, I just walked straight up to him. I'm like, "Hey. So, and I wanted him to know that I'm not alone. I might look like I'm alone, but I got my girls in the back. I said, "Listen, I don't mean this to be ugly, but you got all of us at the yoga studio just curious. Like, what are you doing?" I said, and I didn't.
What are you doing?
That's exactly.
What are you doing sitting on this public park bench watching cars go by? How dare you?
Well, it's not like that, Michelle.
Well, it's pretty much like that.
I guess it's well, okay, it was a vibe. Okay,
Yeah.
So I said, "Wait, well, let me just say," I said, "I get it. If you're if you're just chilling or whatever, I'm just curious. Like, I just need to know." And he takes his glasses off at this point, which to me, I'm like, all right, we're getting somewhere, because
That seems like he's He's opening up, yeah.
Yeah, like he's not afraid to show me his eyes because I'm remembering that, like, and I'm trying to remember all these details and not, like, but then I'm trying to feel him out energetically, and so he's like, well, there's not a whole lot to look at, and so I like to just come down here and watch, and so I'm like trying to process this in my brain.
I mean, but I get that. It's like sitting on your front porch watching people go by. Maybe
Okay,
he
yeah.
doesn't have a front porch, or maybe his street's not a lot happening, so he comes...
I needed more.
Okay.
Okay. So and so I'm like, well, I mean, I get that. I mean, I can understand that you like to watch. He says, well, I work, and then when I'm not working, I just come down here, and then I was on my way to tell him that there is a courtyard behind the courthouse, which is the old police station, that he can go and hang out in too. That's very beautiful. And I was, at the same time.
But not a lot of people.
Right. And I said, I get that too. I said, I do weird things all the time. I said, I'm actually a spiritual medium. And so I get meditation and I get weirdness, and
so now
I get it.
You've just called him weird, and he might not have been starting his day thinking he was weird. But now he is.
I didn't mean it weird, but I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even make this up.
So at this time, I'm sitting in front of, and I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. I believe it's Doug. And Doug, I'm totally going to look up your shop, and we'll link it.
Doug is a shop owner.
Yes, that we are sitting in front of his store.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's Doug, and I'm telling you, I'm going to have to write that down. Anyways, Doug sees me talking to the guy who obviously he knows is a random person that just randomly sits in random benches in this
stretch of public property.
So Doug is feeling me, and he's like, I'm going to go check on this girl, because we go back because Doug spoke to me. I don't have any qualms
y'all go
with
back
Doug.
because he spoke to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all got
he invited
history.
me in. He invited me in the store, and I checked it out.
Into his public store.
Yeah. He has some
You're
great
best
carving.
friends now.
But you know what? I don't wonder about him because I know where we stand.
Yes, I got it. No, I got that. Yeah.
If I have an issue, I'm gonna approach you. You're not gonna not. You're never not. You should never not know where you're at.
You didn't approach him aggressively.
I just was trying to figure him out.
Yeah.
And so Doug comes out and he's like, "Hey, just pretty much saying, I'm here for you, girl.
If you need me."
Yeah. And I'm like, I got this, Doug, but not really. Like, this is what our energy was saying to each other, I'm pretty sure. Right. I'll have to, I should follow up with Doug. So anyways.
I'm curious what he would think about all this.
Me too. I really should do that, and I'll follow up and let everybody know. But, so Doug kind of like messes with the vibe, because now at this point I'm like, I didn't fit Doug into this scenario. So now I'm like,
You're distracted. Squirrel.
Yes. Totally distracted. Then I'm like, oh my God, I'm late for school. Like, this is
your class.
Not just class, but it's like school class.
Right.
And so I'm like, I need to get back.
Retreat.
So I'm just, they both were acted interested in yoga. They asked me a lot of yoga questions. Not a lot, but like probably
maybe they thought you were the weirdo.
That is very high possibility.
I'm trying to like.
Possibility.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah. Well, so we get back to the studio. So I walk back.
So
I love you. But I walk back, and so they're like, what did he say? And
Tenny's like, she's alive.
Yes. Tenny's like, thank you. She says, I couldn't watch it. And she must have told me 4 times. I just totally disagree that you should. I did not think of that. Just so you know.
Thank you, Tenny, for being the voice of reason.
Yeah, that is not a good idea. And the rest of them were like, what did he say? Yeah, go do this.
Get Leigh Ann to do it.
Because they know I will.
It's like Mikey, you'll know life. Mikey, you'll try anything. Leigh Ann will do it.
I was not afraid of this man. I just was. But a few minutes later, he left, and guess what?
He hasn't been back.
I have not seen him.
So, because he now no longer feels comfortable in the public bench, in the public space, people watching. Because Watchdog Leigh Ann is on the scene.
Well, but my thing is if he was up to no good.
And he's just been told he is weird.
I just said that I do weird
I feel like
stuff.
I need to follow up with that guy and make sure he's okay.
I just told him I do weird stuff. Not that he's weird, but I do weird stuff too. Look,
You really?
yeah. Pretty sure that's exactly what I
glad
said.
that
Now
we
that I'm
could-
thinking about it. Man, now I feel a little bad. Maybe if I see him, I'll approach him again. Maybe I'll follow up.
Maybe.
But see, I feel like if he was up to no good, now he knows we're watching him. At least the yoga studio. But he also knows that the yoga studio is going to be closed down. So I'm anxious to see if he comes. I'm going to make note if I see him between now and when the studio closes. Because if he comes back, then I know there's something else. It goes deeper.
No, there's other people to watch on a public place. He might have somebody that's in a job. Let's just take a scenario that it's high energy and he has to go. And he needs a place to unwind. So he just comes and sits, enjoys the breeze, people watches, and doesn't have to interact. It's probably peaceful for him to watch people interact without actually physically interacting because some people's energy likes to observe but not get involved.
Well, his energy was getting involved with my energy.
Because of you!
Well, but I think the reason why I approached him, aside from that, was that I knew, there's a part of me that
Just in
knew,
case it's off.
Well, that too.
Just so you could go, I knew. There was something
No,
off
I
about
need,
him.
no, I'm still inquisitive. I did not have time. Like to investigate this more. I'm gonna if I see him again, it's going to happen. I'm gonna approach him. But in the back of my mind, it was because I was rebelling because I knew that there was a plethora of people
that didn't want you to do it.
Correct.
Yes,
and
you're
I
like,
think that
I'm doing it.
I think that that's what drove me to want to do it.
Okay, everybody, if you are with Leigh Ann, tell her to do it so that she won't. Reverse psychology.
But I do this a lot. And so getting back to like a normal scenario, I found this all started, it stemmed from when I started yoga. I was like totally doing all of these poses. This is like, bring the poses on. When it came to journaling, yeah, not so much. Not feeling it.
I remember you talking about this.
Like, okay, can we just stick with the poses? Like, I got it. No. And so I fought with myself like big time on doing it. Any time I tell myself, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But what triggered this all to come back is like I went through a period of like almost 2 weeks where I have almost filled up a whole notebook. Literally.
I know, I've seen it.
It's ridiculous.
Your penmanship's really pretty. It almost looks printed.
Really?
Yeah. Like when you open your notebook, I'm not sitting next to you. I'm sitting across from you. It almost looks like it's professional.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like...
Thanks.
Yeah,
Because don't look too close because it's just a figment of your imagination.
It's really pretty, though.
Thanks.
It is.
But it's, you know what it is? It's a specific notebook. By Fringe, I think is the name of the notebook. And it's faux leather. And I have to have a mechanical pencil and it's Bic. I only use Bic pens.
Oh, no. I'm a paper mate pencil.
Get
mechanical
away.
pencil.
Oh.
I am.
No, I am totally a Bic chick. But I have to have a Bic mechanical pencil, and when I give readings, I only use a specific blue Bic pen, and it has to be ink. But I can't write in ink with my notebook. Weird. But anyways, I have filled up my notebook, but I found myself so into journaling, I was not practicing my yoga for like a week and a half. And anytime I knew I was supposed to, like, observe.
Well, you got hyper focused in a certain area.
But what I'm going to get at is I think I know why. Well, I'm going to get there, but I know I'm all over. Not really, but.
Squirrel.
Okay. So I'm filling up this notebook, but I'm not practicing. So I'm starting to figure out. So now I'm journaling about me being a rebel. Like, why? There is literally no one to hurt. No one is.
You.
I am only being held accountable for myself. So why am I fighting with myself this bad? I mean, pretty bad. And so I just wrote through it, and it was expectations for myself. Like, and I started thinking of all the scenarios that this happens on a regular basis. Like, if I automatically get up, say I'm going to get up early. At 4 a.m. Oh, yeah. 3 days go by and I'm waking up at 4 a.m., right? And I'm journaling. The day I say I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. to journal, yep, that's a 7 o'clock, maybe you're going to wake up day. Isn't that weird?
You, as soon as you make it a goal,
yeah,
you
epic
sabotage
fail.
yourself.
Yep. What? Isn't that ridiculous? So that is what I've been
so many areas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I've really
What
been
is
practicing.
it, though? Let's talk about that. Okay, what is it about that goal that makes you...
It's because of expectations for myself, which goes back to being, like, feeling like you can't, you won't do it right. Or if I have this expectation, the same thing when you have expectations for others. If you don't think that you can meet them, my internal mind says,
you're gonna
yeah. Well, if I try, then I can't. Then I can't fail.
If I don't
try, I can't fail. And so I will focus on something else instead of what I need to avoid.
Okay, so for someone, I would say, how do you make the transition to the trying being the success and the avoiding being the failure?
I think
because you tie trying into failure instead of the avoidance.
That's very true.
So how do you?
I think that it starts with acknowledging.
And not failing. I don't want to say you're a failure if you avoid something, but you need
it's the fear of failure.
The fear of failure. So you need to tie the success to the try. The trying, you succeed by trying.
Right. Right.
But there's somewhere...
Well, and first of all, it comes with acknowledging that there is a rebel within us all.
Okay.
Okay. And acknowledging that behavior. Because once it's like, I'm going to bring it out in the open. You know, I'm putting it out in the open now. It's not this concealed behavior that's just subconsciously happening.
You're naming it.
Yes. And so now I can address it. So what I've found is that it's almost in a way it teaches you how to, it does benefit you in some ways. And I know that may seem crazy, but it's shifting your focus.
Okay, so you've acknowledged it, you've named it, and where do you go from there? So
I'll have to let you know. Because
that's fair. I think that's completely real. That is probably the realest answer ever. Like, yep, I don't know yet. Spirit, you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah,
Let us know.
I'm still trying to figure that out. So, I do know that there is a bigger lesson, and there is one thing that I believe will tie into it, but I'm not ready yet. And I'll say this. A lot of people will come and see me, and they'll say, can Spirit give you what my soul's purpose is? And I look at them and very honestly say, oh, I know that they could. I am 100% confident that they can say, this is chances are what you're going to be doing. However, they're not going to do that. And it's because you have to experience it and you have to go through all these things in order for you to have the tools you need to be able to get there. Otherwise, you're just going to focus on where you're going and not how to get there. You're going to focus on the destination and not the journey.
Right.
And you have to have
You have to have the experience.
Correct. So I believe that it's the same in the same token. So
right now you've labeled it,
correct,
named it.
Right. But I do think that a big part of it is going to be the way I'm being taught balance right now, and it's interesting to me, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the first time I've said interesting this episode.
Interesting.
Wow. I'm really working on that. So, but how things ebb and flow, like my focus will be all on, I have a lot of different aspects of what I do every day, whether that's art or the podcast or readings or yoga. And so I've noticed that some weeks I knew that I would be so focused on on yoga or so focused on art, and it would shift. And at first that was very concerning to me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm letting everything else fall. But I've noticed how Spirit has allowed me to like shift back and forth. It's kind of like I feel like a marble that's going, on this. There was a game that was like that at one point.
Like where you tilted?
Yeah, but it wasn't in a frantic, like, bouncing all over the place.
But
it's a flow.
That's unhealthy. I think
it's creating space for
yes,
other things to blossom in the process.
And I don't think that it has to be, well, if I don't do a little bit of this every day, I'm not succeeding. There's going to be days where you do more of one thing than another, and that is 100% okay.
Right.
Like, there are days where one of my children gets more attention than the other two, simply based on their needs. Or, just like I do hair. On those days, I do hair. On the other days, I do the other things I need to do.
Yeah, but I think when they're all listed, like when I list, okay, I've got readings, yoga, podcast,
but you're not going to do. You don't do it like from 9 to 10 this.
No,
10
no,
to
no.
11 that.
But I'm saying that's what I've done. That's what I did, and that goes into play for a lot of people. You've got so many different aspects, and it's very overwhelming. And so I think that was the way. Spirit has helped me to make sense of it all, because I really didn't know. To me, when I'd put too much focus in one area, or I just started listening and knew that I gave myself the permission to focus on all of this for this moment, and I trusted that when I'm supposed to focus on another aspect, that I would. I took. Michelle, how long had it been since I took months? I probably didn't paint for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, not a thing. And when I'd go in the studio, I would literally just want to turn around and walk out. I thought I forgot. I think I might have shared this. I think at one point, I'm like, I think I've forgotten how to paint.
And for me, watching you, I knew I wasn't worried. I knew you're navigating the waters, and you're trying to figure out this, and you're trying to figure out that, and
But you couldn't tell me.
No, I couldn't tell you that.
Why?
I knew, because I knew you had to figure it out.
Yeah,
I know. But when you were worried about that, I wasn't worried about that. And so for everything, and even in the beginning when you moved in and you started doing readings here, you were like, I just don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. And I'm like, I just sat back because I knew you'd figure it out. You'd figure out what it looks like. And this month has really been kind of a culmination of
everything,
figuring out what it looks like. And it's going to continue to ebb and flow. I mean, for both of us, for everyone. I mean, your life is, one day you're like, I got this. And the next day you're like,
right.
So it's all ebb and flow, but it's being mindful of where you are. And respecting where you are. And I'm going to justify avoidance a little bit, because for someone who does not avoid, or maybe I do and I'm not aware of it, there are probably things I do avoid, but I like to nip things in the bud. I want to handle it, get it off my plate. I'm moving. Even if I get sick, I got to fix this. I don't have time to be sick. I got to handle this. I'm
terrible about that.
I just want to handle it and move on. So I have found in some instances, and I mentioned this, I know I mentioned this in an earlier podcast, when I've avoided something, it worked itself out. And it didn't take my involvement. So by me relaxing,
you created space for it.
I created
which
space
is
for
something
it.
We discussed it.
We
discussed it last episode. Last episode.
You're right. And I released my energy from it, and it worked itself out. And then the attention that it needed from me was not the attention I thought I was going to have to give. And it ended up being less. I still needed to do something, but it was less than what I had planned on doing.
Interesting.
And that to me is a good thing. So I am finding for someone who has to be on all the time, sometimes it's okay to not be on and avoid. So I think there's two personalities there, and there are areas where we sabotage, and then there's so the areas that you might sabotage yourself, that might not be my area. But on the flip side of that, I am learning that in those areas for me that I don't sabotage, sometimes I need to let it go and let it be what it's going to be, and then show up.
That makes sense.
I don't know. Does. I just might have gone down a rabbit hole, but that's...
And I mean, maybe by me avoiding the fact that I'm a rebel, trying to avoid it, maybe that'll work its way out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some of it is working itself out, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll start using the crosswalk every week.
What?
Every day, excuse me. I'm going to make it a point to try to do that. Until my ego and my subconscious mind,
And maybe let the man just people watch.
No, if I see him, we're going to talk again. Pretty sure. Now we go way back. Now we have... Now, okay,
we don't go that far back.
No, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'll make you a deal. If I say, "Hey, how you doing, John?" If that's your real name. No, just kidding.
If that's your real
name.
No.
How you doing? And he does not respond, I'm talking to him.
Okay.
If he responds, I can go about my business.
I'm a little concerned about this agreement that you've just made, and I have... No matter what I say, it doesn't matter.
I am safe, and
I think you should go full on. Talk to him. Absolutely.
There you go.
I'm reverse psychology.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens. I'm not scared. That's probably a bad thing. This whole conversation might be a terrible thing, but it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I'm good.
I'm glad we're not going to have to go start a bail me out account, so that's good.
At least I know that there's cops that are looking around the corner. I'll just, call one of them fellas,
That's true. They'll be there.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy doesn't have a seatbelt on.
Citizen's arrest. Pretty sure there's an Andy Griffith episode.
Oh, there's an Andy Griffith episode for everything.
I love that.
I know.
I love that.
All right, guys.
All right, well, so you need to check your own rebel.
Yes.
See
Find your inner rebel.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Spiritual Highways podcast with Leigh Ann and Michelle. Catch up on past episodes at spiritualhighways.com, on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and more.